my opinion, what makes good entertainment is stuff that I would like to watch again. If it has repeat value, if it's fun, or if it's emotionally engaging, if it has a repeat value, that's good entertainment for me. If it doesn't, if I'm bored, that's not good entertainment. I fundamentally believe creativity and effectiveness go hand in hand, and there's enough research done on creatively awarded campaigns that have been effective in the real world and the impact of creativity on ROI. So I don't believe there should be a differentiation between creativity and effectiveness. If you look at Cannes, you see a lot of effective work winning. And if you look at the Effies, you see a lot of creative work winning that has been effective. So I think there has to be, there is a commonality between both, and I don't see a difference, and I don't think we should be worried about it. I think we should celebrate work that is effective and also very, very creative. I think that should be the goal of all the effective and creative award shows. In the Middle East, you've got a lot of people from different parts of the Middle East and across different age groups. And in our agency, specifically McCann World Group, we really don't have this issue because we have people who are super young. We have talents who are interns who are contributing to big ideas. And we have talent which is of the, a bit of the older generation, the older lot, who are actually contributing as well. So I don't see it as being an issue for us in the Middle East at all. I'm actually super excited to meet talents over here and get to know how they unlock their creativity, how they think, not just creative talent, but also technology talent. I'd love to also see the kind of speakers that we've got over here and try and really enjoy the festival, because oftentimes you're either judging or you're competing, and I'm barely doing either of both now. So I'm very excited to see the people over here. I think it's a people business we're in, and the talent coming out of this region is spectacular. So I can't wait to speak to the talent and see more of them. Our global creative chairman, Rob Riley, has this motto where he says, creativity is the only way to survive. And we really believe in that as an agency group, and I believe in that individually, because I think in an era where people are struggling to find meaning in their lives, and people are struggling with their lives with a lot of pressures and anxieties, when brands play a meaningful role in people's lives, and they do that through creativity and make people feel good about their lives, make them feel like they're better versions of themselves, I think that purposeful creativity is what is really going to be impactful in the world. And as long as we as agencies keep creating purposeful work for our brands that's really meaningful to people's lives and do it for our big brands that have a big impact in the world, I don't believe creativity is in peril at all. In the Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey region that we look after, advertising doesn't have a lot of restrictions in terms of the work that we should be doing. There are some restrictions from a political and legal front which we have to respect, because we are part of the Middle East and we have to be additive to it versus disrespectful to it. I'm going to say that again. In the Middle East and the North Africa region that we represent, there are not a lot of restrictions on creativity as much as there are restrictions from a political and a legal and sometimes a cultural standpoint, which you have to respect because we are part of the region. We are playing a role in the Middle East and the North Africa region, and we have to respect those rules and restrictions. But we are seeing some phenomenal work coming out of a region. Some of it is competing at AdFest, some of it is competing at global festivals, and is really getting the recognition. So brands and agencies are finding a way to hack their way through those restrictions, through those limitations that are seemingly set upon creativity, but they're doing it in a very, very creative way. And you'll see some of that in my talk as well. Coca-Cola over the years has been an icon of cultural leadership around the world, right? It's been the beacon of optimism and positivity, always seeking to bridge prejudices, to bridge divides, and to make the world a better place, right? From the Coke Hilltop song in 1971 when they taught the world to sing together, to Mean Joe Green, where they had a point of view on racism, and to several other campaigns over the world. Coke has actually had a active point of view on problems afflicting our world. And in the Middle East, which is a pretty, affected region by a lot of anxieties, be it political, social, cultural, and that gives Coca-Cola a very interesting opportunity to stamp its cultural leadership credentials upon the region and upon the world, which its blue nemesis, sometimes doesn't really do. So we've done a lot of work for Coca-Cola, which has been very effective, both in terms of impacting people, impacting business, and impacting culture. The best piece of work that I can think of is the Remove Labels campaign that we had done in 2015 for Ramadan, where we actually removed the labels of Coca-Cola's cans, and we got people to see each other in a new light without any prejudice. So that was my favorite campaign on Coca-Cola. And we are consistently doing that. The marketing team at Coca-Cola is fantastic. They're pushing us to create cultural leadership work, and we're honestly thrilled to be their partners and to do that work in our region. Two best pieces of work from our agency. The one I just mentioned, which is the Remove Labels campaigns from Coca-Cola. The Middle East is a very divided region, divided based on race, divided based on nationalities, divided based on religion as well at times. So our goal with the campaign on Remove Labels was to get everyone in the Middle East to see each other without any prejudice, without any divides. And we did that beautifully through a dark dining experience. Check the video out on YouTube. It's called Remove Labels by Coca-Cola. And we got Coca-Cola, a massive label in the world, to remove the labels of its own products, to give the point of view that labels are for cans and not for people. And that campaign was phenomenal. It was the most effective campaign in Ramadan from the Middle East ever until date. So we really loved that piece of work that we had created for Coca-Cola. The one campaign that I really love is Baby Shop's Parenthood campaign, which is shortlisted at AdFest, and hopefully it wins. Not sure if it does. With Baby Shop, the challenge was to reach out to millennial mothers in today's world. The interesting insight that we found for Baby Shop was that their positioning of celebrating parenthood in the Arabic language stood for celebrating fatherhood, because the word parenthood in Arabic meant fatherhood. Given that our target audience was millennial mothers, we actually created a new Arabic word, which meant motherhood and fatherhood. It met a lot of negativity from a lot of cross-section of society, but eventually with the brand really standing behind it, with people adopting it, it is now at a juncture where it's actually going to be inducted into Arabic dictionary. So super excited about that campaign. So the startup that I run is actually a cricket entertainment startup. It's in its nascent stage right now, so it's about making the sport of cricket that I love and that I've grown up playing entertaining and fun for today's youth. So there are a few innovations that we're playing with, which I'm really excited over the next couple of years to launch into the world. The other thing that I do on the side, when I have time, when I can actually create time from the work that we usually do, is an NGO called the Phone Booths. It's meant to create ideas for social good in the world today. And we've done a lot of work across Asia Pacific and across the Middle East to help kids in particular with topics such as hunger and education. And those two endeavors, in fact, really inspire me with the work that I do, because they allow me to think differently. And by thinking differently, I get certain insights and certain lessons and learnings and a bit more humanity that helps me with my day-to-day work as a strategist and as a creative. I personally look at the work that I do not as work, but as a hobby. So I'm extremely passionate about creativity in its different shape and forms. And when I interview young strategists and young creatives, I often encourage them to bring their passions to the table, bring their insights, bring their love for what they love beyond the office to the work that they do. So for example, I love poetry. So I actually write manifestos for brands, beyond just the strategic directions for brands. I write film scripts because I enjoy writing, because I love poetry. I love photography, so oftentimes my briefs are just photo briefs. I don't have words in them, I have photographs in them. I love traveling, because when I travel, I get to meet so many interesting people and see so many different cultures that actually bring those learnings again to the brands that I work on. So it's extremely important to love your passions and bring those passions to the actual work that you do on a day-to-day basis.